All right, all right. Welcome back to Chaos Conversation. Hump Day.
We, hey, Hump Day it is. We in the building. Bruce and Sam about to give it to y'all real from a man's perspective.
There you
And it's
go.
not that often the men get the benefit of the doubt when it comes to relationships. So here's some straight talk for y'all assets. All right.
There you go. Chaos Conversation.
Sam,
Hey,
let
check
them
us
know
out
what the first
live.
topic is we got for a man.
Check check us out on Twitter, Chaos Convo 01. Check us out on Facebook, Chaos Conversation. You want to send us an email, you can send that to chaosconvo@gmail.com and all other platforms. Chaos Conversation on Instagram as well. Yeah, let's jump right into it, man. We got a short day today. This week's going good so far. So
Yeah.
let's jump right in. What you got today?
This month going by so fast, man.
Man,
This
it's
month
gonna
is
be
going by too fast, if you ask me,
before
man.
you know it, people are gonna be cutting down trees, putting them in their house for the holidays.
Yep, for all that daggum firewood.
There
Yeah.
you
But here's one question we have for a lot of y'all out here because this season, this year is, everybody was just so free to get out, go back to the beach, go out and enjoy the weather, go out and enjoy the world again. And, some folks flying all over the town and stuff. But one question we got for men and women for tonight. Does masculinity still affect or still attract femininity in a man and woman in a relationship, period? To me, I think both have kind of not really fell short, but they've kind of like lost each other's passion for each other. It's still there. It's just not what it used to be. It's not at the 90% or above level. It's more like at the 50% or below level now because of not every man and woman wanting to play their role. What do you think, Sam? What do y'all think?
hold on now. Say that again for the listeners.
Yeah, let me say it again. Does masculinity still attract femininity in a relationship? Because a lot of it used to back in the day, but I believe a lot of it has lost its passion because it used to be 90% or above relationships between man and woman or whomever. That's what attracted them, the chemistry, the connection, the click they had from each applying the masculinity and the femininity in a relationship. But recently, ever since, women have become more independent, it's like it's dropped below the average level of like 50% or less. So do you think it's what it used to be, or do you think they still attract, or what?
I mean, I think femininity always attracts, but it depends on the type of individual you're trying to attract, right? So maybe if you're dealing with somebody that
there you go,
not a high value man, maybe your femininity won't be attracted to them. If you're dealing with somebody off the streets, maybe your femininity will be attractive to them. But the characteristics of a feminine female, can vary from person to person and what they think. But maybe someone that's very nice and kind. Maybe someone would say characterize that person, that female is wearing female-like clothes like heels and putting makeup on and wearing maybe fitted clothing compared to baggy clothing or sweatpants all the time and stuff like that. Maybe some would call that feminine. Maybe that old school relationship stuff like maybe wanting to hold their man's hand or
Yep.
I mean, we could go down a laundry list of things that guys think what guys think makes a woman feminine versus what a woman thinks makes them feminine. They're going to be different, but we're just telling you from a guy's perspective what we think. Women, we can't help you with your brains. We know they work differently than ours, but what we can tell you what we think is feminine.
Way different.
I would say some guys think that's feminine, but to answer your question or to at least give you one point of view, yeah, I think some of it has gone away because, and not on purpose, but a lot of women have had to step up to the plate as play both roles as dad and mom, and they've had to be that disciplinarian, be that hard structured force. I'm not saying women can't do that if a guy is around, but you know, some women have had to step up and play that role, and maybe their role as this feminine caretaker or whatever you want to call it has gone by the wayside. So I don't necessarily blame women. You know, the women that were raised by a mother like that, that was this hardened figure working 2-3 jobs or 2 jobs or even one hard job to make ends meet, to take care of the family. Maybe she didn't have time to do all that. That wasn't the first thing on her mind, was being feminine. It's taking care of the family and getting things done. I got to be protector. You know, I got to do all these things because of the lack of a man for whatever reason. Maybe walked out, as in, you know, prison, jail, wherever. But now you have the female or male that was raised by that type of person, that type of mother, and then that trickles down, right? You know, people emulate what they see in relationships, and it takes a conscious effort to kind of reverse those things you see. So, you know, yeah, I mean, I definitely see. I don't want to say yes. Generationally, has it gone down? Yes, because times have changed, right? Women are not these stay-at-home, can't work, you know, mothers anymore, from 50, 60, 70, 80 years ago. So yeah, times have changed. It's evening out a little bit more. So I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing, but yeah, definitely there's been a change.
Here's my take on it. Even though, like I said, times have shifted dramatically, there's been a huge shift in today's lifetime. I didn't say take the F out of that. I just said there's been a huge shift in this lifetime world of relationships. And it's like women, I feel, women, you all have to want that feeling back. You know what I mean? You have to want that shift back in your life. Again, I didn't say take out the F, but you have to want that shift that was way back when, back in your life, because everybody's wondering why our relationships not what they used to be. And having a woman playing a whole role with femininity is definitely a factor. It's not the only factor, but it's a huge factor, because men, we still like to be able to, whether you're the alpha male, alpha female of the household, it really shouldn't matter. But it's also a matter of knowing your role and having that side. Women, ladies, having that side in your relationship, trust me, that is what will attract masculinity in a man more than ever. It'll draw respect. It will draw his strength. It will draw his character of protection. It'll draw a lot if you apply it daily, if it becomes a habit, if it's who you are. Now, if it's not who you are, again, don't try and blame the man for that. It's not who you are. But that's what shows the signs of a woman who, again, wants a provider, a protector, and the right kind. But at the same time, if you don't play your role, don't always expect the man to play his role. But you're gonna. So here's something else here's what keeps happening, Sam. Check this out. You have heard the opposites attract, right?
Right.
Have you guys ever heard of? Have you all ever heard of you attract what you are? If you attract what you are and opposites attract, which one do you want to live by? Because you can't. If you live by both, that's going to cause that divorce rate to keep rising.
Right.
Think about that. Do you live by you attract what you are, or do you live by opposites attract? Think about that. And that's like saying masculinity is coming from the man and the woman. It ain't gonna work. But believe it or not, that's what keeps happening, because women trying to prove that they're strong. They have all the vision, they have all the money, they trying to prove too much and not allowing enough space for the man to apply his role. And if you don't allow the man to apply his role, I don't care how many kids you got, how many kids you come with, or if you even want kids or not. If you don't allow the man to apply his role, you can't expect, for the relationship, marriage to go but so far. Now, Sam, even as a married man, would you say I'm lying? You the one who married.
No, I mean, well, being married doesn't have anything to do with it.
You say I'm lying?
I mean, women don't have being married doesn't have to do with anything about being feminine or masculine, but I do think that
know how to apply and keep it though.
Yeah, I think that I mean, there's a lot of ways to look at this, but Yeah, for the fact that yeah, like I said, I break it down into high value men versus, you know, average everyday guys versus maybe low value, right? You break it down into those three boxes and you say, okay, well, the low value men may not care. They're not looking at those type of things. The average guy may look at it somewhat and want a little bit more feminine woman that's at least bringing a little bit more to the table. But then you have the guys that are making the, let's say, you know,
What?
150,000 plus. They're in the top, you know,
Yep.
1%. Or you say, okay, 100,000 plus, top maybe 5%. And they're looking for something completely different than someone, you know, working at Sprawl Mart, you know, it's very what they're looking for is completely different. They wanted somebody to be by their side and to carry that female role and that feminine role. And regardless of what you think of what that role is or how it's defined, that person or that guy that's making whatever, you know, gets to decide that for himself and what he wants. It doesn't mean you have to conform to that. That may not be what you want as an individual female, but that's what he wants as a guy, you know.
Yep.
So if you want to be with that type of person that's living that type of lifestyle, there's some things that come along with that versus your everyday average guy or maybe a lower value guy, right? So you have to ask yourself, like Bruce just said, what are you trying to attract, right? And regardless of what you think, the energy you put out into the world does attract. Like I used to hear this all the time from women, especially, you know, when I was single in the dating game.
Yeah.
Women would say, you know, why do I would meet they would say, why am I always ended up with this guy or whatever? Because that's deep down psychologically, that's the guy you're wanting. You know, that's the energy and the vibe you're putting off. Those are the behaviors and the patterns that you are putting off as attracting those type of guys. Because if you're carrying yourself in a different way, I guarantee you would attract a different type of guy. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I completely agree with what you said about, you know, attracting who you are. I mean, I said it a slightly differently, but the vibe that you put off, the behavior, the characteristics, the social media, everything you put off attracts a certain type of person. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, because this is one thing. This is a whole different topic for a whole different show. But I'm gonna say there are times when after this topic here, we're gonna go on to the next one. But there are a lot of young ladies out here who, you know, they say they're special. They have the feminine side of them and all that stuff. But what the problem I've noticed with is they keep attracting men who they claim to be the like luxury, special, and all this other stuff. And they keep attracting the men. But what keeps happening is the ladies, you guys don't realize you might be a luxury vehicle. You might be like a Bentley, but you ain't up to date Bentley. You know what I mean? You're a 1956 you're a 56 Bentley or Rolls Royce, whatever kind. But you're asking for the treatment of a Rolls Royce, you know, or a Bentley that's up to 2020. But you're still the old-fashioned way of, you know, acting, and you haven't changed everything that you need to be up to date with the way, you know, the average Bentley and the Rolls Royce is even treated. Right. It's like, you know, back in them days when you guys say, hey, I'm special, I'm unique, I'm different. Okay, well, guess what? Gas back then was only 5 cents a gallon, something that's like that, 50 cents a gallon. And you asking for the treatment of a vehicle, of a Bentley or Rolls Royce, this the year of 2021. But it's like you haven't changed from the old-fashioned ways of presenting yourself. And it's like by living by the old-fashioned way of if you're gonna try to live by the old-fashioned way, the way your grandmother did or your mom, parents did, whatever, then you gotta adopt the whole concept of how they lived together, of how they acted, of how they treated each other, not just the parts that you like and say, hey, I want to be treated this way, and you don't have no femininity, you have too much independence, or you don't even show the man that you're with that you like spontaneousness. You expect him to pick up on all that and be the the man in charge and work all day long to keep you at home and take care of the family and do it. Okay, so what are you doing for him? What are you doing to show him the appreciation that you deserve to be this special queen or luxury woman of a lifetime? What are you doing for him? Or see, that's the part I think where the femininity can be kicked in a little bit higher than what it is now. And that's why I believe it lost a lot of its speed, a lot of its passion right there. Ladies,
what if the
stop pointing.
what if the guy doesn't want that then?
Not for that. That's all I do is point the finger.
Do you think a relationship would work with someone who is a guy, a female that's very feminine, but a guy that doesn't really want as much of a feminine female? Do you think that can work? Have you seen that?
I'll be honest with you, Sam. Too much femininity is it's not a turn off for me. It just won't turn me on. Like I had a young lady who I dated, man. I'm not gonna mention her, but I had a young lady who I dated, and she had a damn pole in her townhouse. And she tried, hitting the pole on me one day, but you know me saying that's just not I'm not turned on by that mess at all. And she thought that, well, you don't find me attractive. I was like, listen, I'm just, and she didn't know this because I never talked about it, but she tried to turn me on and show her feminine side to me by doing that. I like, listen, you know what? She caught me off guard because she told me the door will be open, which means just come in. And I mean, she had the music playing, all that mess. And I said, listen, I'm just not turned on by that kind of stuff. It's okay, but that's like, it's not gonna do anything to me. And then she didn't think I found her attractive. And she thought it meant, the end of our relationship. I like, nah, honey, nah, it's not like that. It's just not one of my things. I appreciate it. I like it. I said I enjoyed it. I didn't. So it was like, but that kind of stuff. If a man is not turned on by it, that doesn't mean there's more than one kind. There's many kinds of ways a woman can show her femininity to a man. That's going to turn him on one way or another. It's just every man's different. So go on to the next topic question we have, man, because hopefully that answers some of y'all ladies.
Some guys might like those butch, masculine women.
Ain't that
to each his own.
Ain't that wrong with
to each his own.
There you go. But go on to our next topic question, man, because I can go on that part for months.
Oh, I know, man. So we had a listener follower that oh man, what a sticky situation, I should say. So this young lady she was trying to find some chapstick, and she ran out, so she was digging through her boyfriend's book bag to try to find some chapstick. Lo and behold, she found an engagement ring in that bag. So she's debating.
Oh, they put a ring on it?
Well, it's not for another woman, thank goodness. That would have been a great topic to talk about if it wasn't for her. But
oh hell, that's a different topic there.
Apparently the ring is for her. So she was trying to debate whether she should tell him that she found the ring or to not tell him she found the ring. Now, if you were in that situation and you were the guy, would you want your soon-to-be fiance to tell you she found the ring or to not tell you?
Me, I would not want her to say one word to me because the idea is not so much a surprise, but the idea is to let him present it to you at the right time, whether it's a cookout, your birthday, mom's day. Give him a fair chance to present it to you so it can mean something to him also. Because if you just tell him, he can be like, I was going to ask you maybe the day the day before, like April Fool's Day or some other special, or just any day that he was going to choose that meant something to him. But when you take away that opportunity, it's like, she has to keep in mind, ladies, listen up. You have to keep in mind, the engagement is not all about you. It's about y'all. Now the ring is all for you, but the moment is for y'all. So that's why it would bug the hell out of me if a woman I'm getting ready to propose to pull some shit like that. My bad, but it would, as you can tell. What about you, Franklin?
Yeah, I think that
how about it?
We don't agree too often, but I think I have to agree with you on that one. I wouldn't I mean, this is a nerve-wracking thing for a guy. You know, I've been through this, went through it twice, and it's a very nerve-wracking
Yep.
experience. You're a little flustered sometimes. You've been hiding this thing. Some guys may have bought it and carry it on them for months, just trying to find the right time. You know what I'm saying? To do
There
it.
you go.
Maybe they wanted it to be a very spontaneous thing. And you have other guys that plan this whole, you know, ordeal or spectacular thing. You can go on YouTube and type in engagements, and you'll see people having these elaborate, you know, setups. Maybe they involve family, maybe it's fireworks, maybe it's you know, surprises with their friends. Maybe it's like those, what do they call those things, like flash mobs where people are dancing and stuff, stuff like that. So I mean, people can get pretty elaborate.
Do
So
it out on the dance floor.
yeah, so you never know what your, in this case, is her boyfriend. We don't know what this guy was planning and had planned. And so had she come forward and said, you know what, hey, I found this ring, you know, he may, to be honest, I don't know how he would have reacted, because maybe he doesn't believe her story of her going through the bag to try to find some chapstick. Maybe he's like, oh, she's going through my stuff, trying to spy on me. Now you found this ring. Well, I'm gonna go take the ring back and get my money back. You know, you never know how that may backfire. It could backfire, and
Hey,
you know, she has a ring. She thinks she's about to get, you know, the question proposed to her, and next thing you know, they're broken up.
you know what, Sam? That's what you call, sometimes that can be a flag on the play, ladies. So that's why you don't want to, you know, ruin a man's routine. You know, be patient. And if you have an idea, then okay, that should tell you right there. He probably ain't got no idea of, you know, playing games on you. But if you go in there and tell him whatever, you're gonna make him, sometimes you're gonna make him think and believe that's a flag on play to probably not even make the call or maybe ask the question. Because you know what, she's too much of this, she's too insecure, she's too impatient. He gonna make, you gonna put extra thoughts in his mind he probably ain't never been thinking of since he's been with you. And you can't really call that maturity either. So
Right.
I know some ladies be trying to do, but they be trying to say, you know, they be trying to use one thing to cover up another. They be trying to, you know, rob Peter to pay Paul in all kind of ways, not just for bills though.
No, very true. Very
Yeah.
true.
Yeah, we only got but a short amount of time. So what was our next question after that? Or the next statement we had to make it for the people.
Like this one. This is a
Go ahead.
Bruce type question somebody asked us. So this guy hit us up, and it was his. So this is a young man. I think he's early 30s. He's been having a hookup. He's been hooking up with his friend. That's a female. He's been hooking up with her from time to time. You know, having a sexual relationship, and so, you know, which I think you really shouldn't cross that line. When you have friends of the opposite sex that are truly friends, I don't think you should cross that line. But anyway, that's a whole nother topic as well. Anyway, so this guy, his friend in quotes, she is engaged and she's pregnant.
Okay.
So the question he proposed was, should he tell his friends, who's a female, fiance, who's a guy, that they were hooking up, you know, before they got engaged. And then he went on a little bit further and said that, hey, by the way, you know, now that all this has been exposed, you know, now he's found so actually no, let's start with the question and I'll tell you the rest of what he sent in. So should the guy who has a hookup partner who is his friend hooking up with her, she just got engaged, and then right after the engagement she found out she was pregnant, should the guy reach out to his friend's fiance and tell him they were hooking up if the friend's not going to say anything about it?
Good question. Good question, because you don't want, so he ain't got no beef with the male fiance right now.
No beef right
Stuff
now.
like that.
Nothing.
How many months pregnant is she? How many months pregnant is she?
I think it was like 3 or 4.
Okay, it's too late for the damn what's that pill called? Morning after or some pill like that. It's too late for that. So
yeah, they know.
Yeah, and I don't believe in abortion. So I believe the dude.
3 months after pill.
Yeah, they know it's the night after. That's why it's called the night after, the day before, whatever that pill is.
Whatever it's
so
called. Plan B.
She can't take that to get rid of it.
Right.
There you go. Yeah. So what's Plan B? Yeah, that's another one. That's another. Yeah, so it's like, all right, if I was him, I honestly, does she? But the question is, does she know if it might be either or? Because that to me is interfering with a relationship that might be going. That's not playing. I ain't say that's playing your role, because him and the fiance are not, like best friends or anything like that. So that's like, why you kind of ruin something that it's not it's not too much his business. But hey, if it is, then when it's time for him to, when that's like what I say, that's trying to make the moment. That's trying to fix something that no one can even tell is broke just yet. So I wouldn't say he got to say a word, because, hey, the guy might be okay with it. The guy might be, hey, but if it's their moment, they're engaged. It's like, hey, if it's time to reveal, then present. But if it's not time, don't try to make the moment. Don't try to force that neither.
So,
because then you could be to blame while they're not together. And that man might be her heart. Who knows? I wouldn't. I know that.
So he went on to talk a little bit more. He went on to talk a little bit more about it, and supposedly they had split up during COVID for a little bit, because the fiance was going to be spending some time out of the state, with his family or whatever. Then they came back and got back together. But in the meantime, he was hooking up with this chick, his friend, in quotes. And then those two, the fiance and his friend, started, hooking back up or whatever. So in the meantime, anyway, he essentially, sent us an update and said, they chatted, and they ended up getting a DNA test, and he found out he is the father.
He found out he is the father.
He found out he is the father to his.
My question to her is
his friend, in quote. So he got his friend pregnant, and she was engaged to another guy. So he didn't elaborate on, if they broke up or did whatever, or they're not engaged anymore. I'm assuming they would be, but so I don't think he ever. So essentially, he said, I did not reach out to the fiance, but I did talk about it with my friend, and we did go ahead and take the pregnancy test, and not the pregnancy test, but the DNA test, and he was the father, or is the father.
Oh hell, that's like a daggone Maury show right there, man. They came from the Maury show. They need to go to the Maury show or something. But if she knows and they know, yeah, that's definitely the Maury. But see, if they know, and the best thing, see, my question is my question is not really so much about him. My question is her, of what the hell will you think? Because she's the one in the middle. If you know you have a fiance,
if you're not on birth control,
or have a boyfriend who's getting ready to become your fiance.
Right. If you're not on birth control, then some type
of, was the condom?
Right. Some type of protection's got to be happening.
Yeah, and but see, cheating is, see, that everybody saying that right there is what a lot of listeners right now will probably not try to downplay the man when she's the factor, she's the reason why she's pregnant. Why are you trying to be with a good friend and possibly ruin your relationship, and be with a man that you're committed to and possibly in a commitment in your engagement? Why the hell would you put yourself in that position? That's my question.
Right.
So I wouldn't, but I see where he's coming from. That'd be my question to her. Why the hell would you even do that? Ladies, help me understand. Because that's just crazy.
Yeah, it's a little wild. I mean, it's interesting. It's
How old was she?
definitely interesting, man. You said what?
How old was she? Or how old is she?
I think the girl is 28 and the guy is 32, I think early 30s.
Oh, that's a bit immaturity right there.
Yeah, that age.
I
Yeah.
mean, hey, people do it all the time, but that's when a lot around when you're still in your 20s, a lot of women feel they still are on top of the world, or they feel they still have time. And sometimes when you have too many options, it's not good to have too many options. You got to be more. She should have been more selective of who's in her circle, if that makes sense. Like, do you have people in your circle who are always tempting? Do you have people in your circle who are always daring you? People in your circle who are always pushing you? It's like, you gotta be more selective of who's gonna be in your circle, because if not, when that kind of mess happens, you can't do anything but blame yourself.
Right.
Because your fiance, or I'm speaking from her fiance and her friend, they ain't got nothing in common but her. If they don't know each other like that, they ain't best friends, they ain't good friends. It's like they ain't got nothing to lose.
Yeah, I mean, that's true.
She's gonna be stuck in the middle, catching hell from all angles. Now, again, to each his own, but that's that damn love and basketball mess right there too, man. That damn what's it called? The best man and love. That's a combination of the love and basketball and the best man right there.
That's true.
Yep. That was her neighbor, and she was in love with him, but she didn't know how to tell him. And then they smashed. And next thing you know, she's pregnant. That he gets engaged, and this kind of mess happens. Ooh, you know what, Sam? You should email that fool and tell him to start playing a movie for that mess or something, man, because that's what that is. That's what it could be. No, either a movie, a book, or something.
Definitely is.
So in times like that, ladies, when you want to sit there and blame a man, if you want to sit there, ladies, and blame a man for being in that situation, you got to remember who's in the middle. The woman is. So to blame your fiance, saying, "Oh, your fiance saying, oh well, you won't please me this or doing this for me or doing that, so I found somebody that could." Okay, again, that's your fault for not communicating that to him in a mannered way. But the fella who says, "Okay, well, we're friends and I was smashing her on the side," well, okay, why was she cheating in the first place? But then also you can ask the guy whose baby it is, why were you going with the flow? That's traumatizing your friend. That's something that's not traumatizing, but it's something that could traumatize your relationship and a friendship with her. But why would you even engage in this mess like that? But when it's all said and done, it's like she was the key factor, because like this one guy told me way back when, he's like, check it out. Just because some guy named Dick comes by and knocks on your door, that doesn't mean open wide and say, come in. Some folks will catch that, some folks won't. But just because that happens, I don't care who it is, ladies, that does not always mean open your door wide and say, come in. So I will say from the news, you come right in. Yeah, ladies, again. Well, if I'm pretty sure if the fiance and propose to her, if they tell him now, you best believe he's gonna be. I'm more than likely he will take that ring back and call that mess off.
Oh, definitely.
I know I probably would.
Yeah, I definitely would. There's no doubt about that. I mean, you cheat and you get pregnant. Whew. That's crazy.
Yeah, that's already 2 strikes, man. Yeah, if I was him, like, why the hell? If you're already 2 strikes and you got a whole game of life to play, you got a whole entire game, not a quarter, not a season, not a day, a week. You got a whole entire life to play. Why? And she only got 2 strikes. You best believe that 3rd strike is gonna come sooner or later. So how many strikes does she get before she's out? That's again, Sam. That's that flag on the play right there, man. That's that flag on the play.
Some people believe one, some people believe
Hey,
two,
well,
maybe three at the most.
it
Three.
depends on what it is.
But hey,
Yeah.
let's jump into another
A
quick
lot of
topic.
times it depends on what it is.
You know, we had somebody,
How much time you got?
COVID is COVID.
We got 30 minutes. That's it.
Yeah, COVID is still roaring, and we got about 10 minutes. COVID is still roaring, and you got this new variant out, this Delta variant out,
Indian virus they call it.
causing havoc. And
Delta, yeah.
spreading like crazy. So this young lady said, you know, she reached out to us and was like, you know, my boyfriend, she works at a hospital. She's a nurse. So she's seen firsthand devastating effects of this virus and even this variant, right? So this variant, just to give people some statistics and some facts, they're saying that 99% of the people getting sick and hospitalized now with COVID-19 right now are people that are unvaccinated. So she reaches out and says, you know, my boyfriend doesn't want to get the vaccine because he thinks it's a government setup, you know, a bunch of conspiracy stuff, and you know, they're just trying to control me and the media and this and that and da 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 da. And she says, hey, I'm a nurse. I see this firsthand, what's going on in the hospitals and who's coming in and who's sick and how fast they're getting sick and all this stuff, you know, to kind of give him a firsthand perspective. And he's still talking all that craziness. You know, she wants to travel. They can't travel because he's not vaccinated, you know, and do stuff like that. So it's hurting the relationship, getting strained like that. So so she was just asking, well, where do I cut things off with this guy she said she's never seen this side of him before until this vaccine came out, and maybe COVID, and maybe he's been online and, you know, been in conspiracy blogs and, you know, social media and reading all this stuff that's not really factual, just opinions and people making stuff up. So she's just saying, where does she go with this relationship if this guy won't get a vaccine, even for her, and her being a nurse, and knowing firsthand the devastating effects of this? How would you approach that, Bruce?
I mean, from his point of view, I can slightly see it, but it's different when you buy the BS online versus you do your own research. Now, I don't know what his love for her is. I mean, I haven't even gotten mine yet. However, I also am very particular who's in my circle and who I'm around. So for him, I'm like, all right, if you don't want to get the vaccine, then you got to show her that you're being extra cautious on your everyday living. I don't know how long they've been together, but if you're not going to get no vaccine and you're not even going to do it for her, you can't use that. If she uses that against you, you can't be surprised, because this thing is deadly. Now, I don't have I have partners, but I don't have a committed woman. So it's like, all right, it's different. But when you have somebody who you're gonna be kissing on, hugging on, being close to, and all cuddly with and stuff like that, maybe even, I don't know what else they got going on, but if you can be sharing your life like that with somebody, around them at least, if you can be around that person at least 50 hours a week, or let me cut that down, maybe even 20 hours a week, then you got to think about that. I don't know if they're living together or what. Are they riding the same car? It's like she's gonna have to. What he got to do is not be surprised if she starts to cut back on. Okay, honey, don't pick me up. Let's meet there. Or honey, if you're gonna sleep in the same house, you sleep on the upstairs room. In the guest bedroom, I'm gonna sleep down here. You know, he cannot get mad or too pissed off at stuff like that. Now she said, if he's still allowing her in her house, or she's still allowing him in her house, or he's allowing her in his house, whatever, he cannot be surprised if she keeps distance from him on certain occasions. Like, you know, if she comes to his house, he can't be surprised if she wants to use her own plasticware and not touch his silverware or cups or stuff like that, because nurses like that, some people like that, are very cautious to the point where, hey, you know, why are you tripping? I ain't tripping. Hey, I'll ask if that vaccine test, you know, it's different. Now, I don't know who she is as a person, but that'd be, I remember one time when I had just got over the flu way back when. This is like maybe over 10 years ago. And the young lady I was seeing, she was kind of, you know, distant, kind of cautious. She didn't want to She was acting kind of weird. She's like, "Have you washed your hands yet?" I'm like, "Girl, if you don't get that out of my face, talking so crazy." She's like, "Nah." She was very particular about stuff like that. I would come inside and she would wipe the door behind me with a daggum. Yeah, she would wipe the door behind me, all that kind of stuff. I like, but all I had was I had just gotten over the flu, so but I knew why I had it though. This virus and Ebola wasn't even around. So yeah, that's all. That's what my thing is for him is don't be surprised if she comes at you in more than one angle. What would you say from her perspective, though, Sam? She should do.
Especially her being a nurse. She may say, you know what, I had to work at the was at the hospital this week, so you can't come see me for 7 days just to make sure I don't have something. You know what I'm saying? But I think at the end of the day, what made her pissed off more was that he would not do it so that they could travel during this time, right? So yeah, they haven't been able to travel for the last year and a half. There's a lot of deals and stuff going on. A lot of people are traveling more that are vaccinated, like I did internationally, and they can't do that because he's not vaccinated. Now, there are some countries that will allow you to travel, but you have to prove that you have a negative COVID test. But it is easier to travel.
Breathalyzer.
It's easier to travel if you've been vaccinated. It is much easier to travel, I should say. And you can prove that you've been vaccinated or whatever. It's very, very much so easier.
But just because people have been vaccinated, that does not mean stop using hand sanitizer. That does not mean to stop applying the 6-foot rule or don't have a mask on and don't take your temperature based on how much you go out and around people. Check your temperature. That doesn't mean to stop all that stuff there. That just means you won't die from it. You won't be in the hospital with as much body damage done, health damage done, if by chance you happen to. That don't mean you can't catch it, because you still can. But from her point of view, if she's a nurse, yeah, that's like he's trying to tell her that her feelings don't matter to him and that her knowledge don't matter to him. I mean, if she's a nurse, I'm like, dude,
right?
What does she mean to you? If either one of them have kids and they're coming around their kids, it's not just her you're talking about. It's her, family too, if she has any or if he has any.
Yeah, I think definitely that's the
couples are a bit different.
And one thing you said there was about mask indoors. I mean, a lot of states have reduced the requirement, so you don't have to wear a mask inside anymore. I still wear mine inside, especially if I'm going to be in close proximity to other people. Like if I'm being really close to people, I will wear it. If I'm just going in somewhere really quickly and I look around, nobody's there, I'll slip it down under my chin or whatever. But if I'm around a lot of people inside somewhere, I'll put it on, just because, like you said, the people spreading it are people that are unvaccinated. And even though you're vaccinated, you can still get it and spread it to other people. So that's still a big concern,
I saw a woman, what I see? I saw a woman at a store. She was spraying that daggum Lysol mess, man, like it was her damn, like she was staying in a daggum prison home or something, man. She was spraying, like doing circles around her, man. She was like five, probably only 5 even, man. I'm like, woman, do you realize you were spraying that mess in people's faces? And she was like, okay, well, get back then. Oh, white woman, man. But it was like, I mean, I'm not sure what she was. She was freaking out. I'm like, woman, you decided to come inside the gas station. You're going to pay for your gas with a daggum debit card, credit card. What the hell you in here for anyway? And she was doing that mess. And I mean,
that's hilarious.
Can I blame her for it in a way? Yeah, to a certain extent. But I mean, that kind of stuff is not needed. If you're going to spray, my thing is spray up in the air. Don't spray at people's face level. That dude, there was a guy who was 2 guys in front of me who was closer to her than I was, who started, fussing, cussing her out for that. But I was like, hey, dude, I kind of, I spoke to him after she left. I kind of spoke to him like, look, dude, she's old school, man. She don't. I was like, yeah, bro. But I said he was just going off on her. But I mean, that stuff like that, that's different than, I mean, and one thing that's crazy though, here's the crazy part about it. Here's why he was cussing and fussing her out though, Sam. She ain't had no damn mask on. I'm like, why the hell would you even go in the store no damn mask on, spraying that mess, and knowing there's other people around you who ain't got no. I do that. Now that to me, that old woman deserved every bit of fussing and cussing that guy gave her.
Karen's gone wild.
That's stupidity.
Karen's gone wild. You know
there you go. Hey, they might have been related, Sam. I don't know. And you can tell she was looking at it. There was probably what, out of all the people in line, there was probably, let me see, there was 3 people over there on the left buying lottery tickets, and there was people on the far in the other cashier line either paying for gas or buying drinks or candy, whatever they were buying, chips. And she's in the line trying to get the gas. So I'm like, man, what they did was, luckily, the 3 people who were in the lottery line, they finished and they said, you know what? They just called her ass over there. She like jumped like in front of 2 or 3 people and just went over there. And I'm like, because no one liked that. That to me, that was disrespect in a way, because you came in here with no mask. Now,
yeah, you
if
can't.
That woman who has that voice,
spray hand sanitizer everywhere, and you don't even have a mask on.
I'm not sure what that Lysol mess was, but yeah, I mean, and that young lady who's a nurse and has that boyfriend like that, I wouldn't go that crazy on with no spray, but I would, if it means that much to you, give him enough signs that, hey, either until you get this, some benefits are going to be on suspension, sir. If I was in a relationship, not free. If I was in a relationship, I'd be like, you know what? And I know what kind of work she did. Like, you around too many people,
right?
Yeah, I probably got the vaccine way back when, if I was in a relationship like that. But I'm not around that many people. It's just me, and so I'm gonna be getting mine. But it's like, all right.
Well, that sounds good. Well, hey guys,
the benefits in your case.
It's time to wrap things up here. Chaos Conversation. Again, hey, we want to thank you guys for joining in today. You can check us out every Wednesday, 7 to 8 p.m. Chaos Convo 01 on Twitter, Chaos Conversation on Facebook, and Chaos Conversation on Instagram. You can check us out on all those platforms. Follow us, like the videos on YouTube, Chaos Conversation on YouTube. Just type it in, it'll pull up our videos. Follow our videos. Subscribe to the playlist, like the page on Facebook. Hey, it will mean the world to us if you like the content, we give you a little laugh, give you a little insight into the mindset of how guys think. Follow us.
And once we start going live again, shoot, man, we're gonna start, inviting some of y'all to just state your opinions, and then we're gonna start schooling some of y'all on what you be thinking and acting on based on your opinions.
Yeah, man, we can't wait to get back in.
I don't know if you're ready for that.
We can have more people in the studio doing that.
I'm ready for that.
But you got to be vaccinated before you come in the studio. Once we get back in, we don't want you spreading your germs back in there, ladies.
Oh yeah, we don't see this. Maybe we don't want y'all to try and catch none either and come back trying to, say it was us.
Sue, you can't sue us. No, we're not getting sued. You got to sign some papers. Sign some waivers. There you go. All right, until next then, hey, peace out, guys.
There you go.